I don't understand, because I'm not one of those people who knocks comedy or polices comedy, but I don't know how those audiences got together. How you got a dude who MAGA loves and a dude who did Right Along in the same, you know what I mean?
He's talking about the roast of Kevin Hart, ladies and gentlemen. How is it that we're able to get MAGA's extreme with people who want to go see the movie Right Along, because they are typically not the same fashion? And that is another one of the things that we debunk on this channel. Myths and societal stereotypes put in place by the colonizers who first got here. And one of those myths that has always been true for me, ladies and gentlemen, is the myth of when someone is voting against your very well-being, you're supposed to make friends with them and act like that didn't happen, which is what the Republican Party has always wanted Democrats to do with them. In this video, folks, we're going to discuss how MAGA is breaking apart and actually saying that they're leaving Trump, but I won't believe nothing till I see it in the voting box. We've also got how Republicans have really made inroads with an audience because they was willing to pay folks on social media, people outside the mainstream media. Democrats have been reluctant to do that. And we've got someone saying that they need to do it or else we're going to be in trouble. So we've got that. I've got this for you too, ladies and gentlemen. We've always been told when it comes to reparations for Black folks, descendants of slaves, that there's no way we could afford it. But guess what we do got money for, ladies and gentlemen? We actually have money to pay criminals that try to overthrow the very government of these United States. That and so much more. We get kicked off right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right. You're in the building with the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful, all DEI, all-inclusive, just damn all everything, sexy as hell host, Lamont Tyson, bringing you the Politics of Being Black full show. What is this show all about? This show is going through real-life examples of debunking normal societal myths that was put in place by the colonizers, passed down through their children, Republicans and racists, to keep society at bay, while behind your back, they pillory, they plumage, and they do everything against what they want you to believe in. And we've got several videos to show you that today. I take super chats at the very end. If you want to say something, you got something that you want me to read on the air, super chat me, I'll get it in. And before that, we do predetermined topics to let you see examples of what I'm saying about society and how it relates to Black, African Americans, and other minorities. First thing we got here today, folks, the fracturing of MAGA, ladies and gentlemen. They say there's a fracturing, but to me, folks, I think that everybody in MAGA has Stockholm Syndrome. They might be mad for a moment. You might get mad at your dad who's having sex with your cousin. You get mad at him for a little bit, but ultimately you forgive him because your Bible says you should, and you just squash the feelings in your body that says he's wrong, his ass should be in jail. You just forget all that. And that's what I think MAGA does with Trump. So here is a montage of people who claim they're mad at MAGA. And you guys let me know what you think, because I don't believe nothing until it hits the voting box. Take a look.
Who made this video? Who made this video? Y'all, I'm tripping. Check this video out.
I am not MAGA. I am the person who existed before.
I am not the MAGA identity.
My name is Tom. I was MAGA for 10 years.
Hi, Tom.
And now I'm here.
And when you say in, what does that mean to you?
16 hours a day, phone, TV, gave money I didn't have, thousands.
I was so angry of all the wokeness, tired of being told I was the problem. And I fell for the bullshitter. At least he was angry too.
The version of you that was inside MAGA, it's not who you are. The authentic self is still here. We're gonna bring him or her back into the circle.
I really thought he was gonna make things better. I'm broke as fuck. Everything is expensive.
Before the hat, before the rallies, you're somewhere safe. What do you smell?
My mother's kitchen.
I voted because my friends did, that's it.
I almost went to Washington that day.
I don't recognize myself anymore.
My family stopped talking to me.
My grandchildren will read about what we did. I want them to know I knew.
I was wrong. I hope you can forgive me.
I'm sorry for the pain I caused.
I hope we can start over.
I'm so sorry.
You were right about everything.
It was terrifying to walk away.
But for the first time in years,
I finally have my mind back.
You don't have to do this alone, son.
you don't have to do this alone, Mom.
And now I know this is AI, but it seems like something that's really going to happen, or it's already taking place as we speak. But yeah, good for a laugh.
He's right. That was dramatized by AI, but we have seen some MAGA folks claim that they're done. You guys remember that lady, Latinos for Trump, who I'm sorry to laugh, but ICE came and got her ass. Is she still Latinoing for Trump? Here's the problem with this, ladies and gentlemen. There are too many people who bought into the lies, the myths of society passed down by white folks that you're supposed to enjoy and believe and like symbolic things over tangible items. And that's how white, racist, undeserving men have been able to pillory and plumage our society, because they will give white people hate and the white people will choose that instead of food on their plate. Have y'all seen the theme on this channel? Some people will choose hate over food on their plate. And the powers that be placate that with Jesus Christ, picking on people who are educated, because educated people are able to critically think and separate their religion from what's really happening in the world that you have control over. And educated people challenge the status quo, and they don't want that. The Republican Party don't want that. They don't want a challenge. They want you to do as told so that they can get away with what they want to get away with. And until MAGA shows me through not just a light thumping of Trump, through a dismantling voting-wise of Trump and MAGA-ism, I won't believe that enough people have peeled out of that party with the pain and suffering they're dealing with every day. I won't believe it till I see a sound defeat in the voting box. I just won't. Marjorie Taylor Greene, do I believe her ass? No. Tucker Carlson? No. The Latina chick for Trump that got deported by ICE, I believe if ICE released her right now, her ass would still go vote for Trump and be up there lollygagging, letting her noonie jugs shake around for Trump. No. People have Stockholm syndrome, and the way the voting maps are being jerry-rigged and have always leaned heavily to the growing minority party, which is the Republicans, is stacked deck against the Democrats. And overwhelmingly, Democrats are going to have to do something to overcome that stacked deck. So y'all let me know what you think. Do you think enough MAGA folks have seen the light of day that they are going to turn the corner and come vote for their best interest? I don't. I hope I'm wrong, but you guys let me know. And big shout out to everybody who showed up early. I set this for noon, but I want you all to please turn on notifications. Tell your friends to turn on notifications, because the minute I am done stock trading on my other channel, and if you want to come follow my journey in stock trading, the channel link is right here. So from 9:30 until usually 10:30, I'm trading on my stock channel, and you just get a chance to see what I'm doing, my system. And when I'm done trading, I come up here and I start my live show. So just turn on notifications. Let's move on. For years, it has been this big thing in our society, another one of these myths, that we don't have money to give to descendants of slaves because it's too much. How would we do it? Even though we have all these great technologies, Ancestry.com, DNA, 23andMe, you stick your finger in my throat, it comes out my butt, .a. We got all these technologies to tell who is descendant of slaves. We even have had Democrats who claim to be centrists say that we couldn't do it, it wouldn't be right, they was too worried we would anger too many white people. Well, folks, today, we actually have those same Republicans and some moderate Democrats willing to vote to give the people who tried to overthrow the federal government on January 6th $1.7 billion. People who went and pooped on Nancy Pelosi's desk. People who killed cops, hurt cops. People who stormed our nation's capital. That is one of the highest felonies in the land. You want to give them $1.7 billion, but you have nothing for the people that fought wars for this country, that built this country, and most of the time when they came back home, couldn't go get a cup of coffee, couldn't catch a cab in New York, had to be segregated. Folks, I can't make this up. Take a look at this bull jive right here.
Accused, wrongfully prosecuted, are eligible for restitution.
There's no mechanism for distinguishing the pardons of cop beaters from anybody else, right? They're all pardoned.
I appreciate Lydia and Pete, you all acknowledging how bad this looks. What are you going to do about it?
Donald Trump is expected to drop his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS in exchange for the creation of a political slush fund for MAGA allies who were investigated by President Biden. And it would be paid for by taxpayers, according to the New York Times. A $1.7 billion fund to potentially compensate pardoned January 6th rioters? How does that work?
Look, I'm very sympathetic to the people whose lives were impacted by the lawfare of the Biden administration. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of people whose lives were essentially ruined. People who were associated with him, I'm talking about people who worked with him in the administration who couldn't get jobs, were blacklisted after. So I'm very sympathetic. Like Hope Hicks, people who couldn't get jobs.
Hope Hicks was never charged with anything.
No, but I'm saying the lawfare, the people who had to spend years of their lives in response. I'm very sympathetic to that.
She was held accountable for upholding an insurrection, so people wouldn't hire her?
People who happened to be
but I don't think she's a great example because Hope Hicks was hired, okay? She was hired in private sector jobs after leaving the administration. She's fine.
I do believe that people in this country who are wrongfully accused, wrongfully prosecuted, are eligible for restitution. I'm not saying every single person that we're talking about here should get it. I don't think all 1,600 rioters on January 6th should get a single dime or cent out of this. But if there are people who can make a case that they were wrongfully prosecuted, wrongfully targeted by the Biden administration, then they should have some restitution just like any other American.
That's a generic statement that I think sounds good if you don't pay attention to the details of what we're actually talking about here, which is that these are all people that Trump has already, through an official act, suggested were wrongfully prosecuted. The president is then now saying, potentially, that they're going to create a fund that would allow those very people. There's no mechanism for distinguishing the pardons of cop beaters from anybody else, right? They're all pardoned. They could all be, why would they not all be eligible for this fund?
Can I just say, I want to say very genuinely, I appreciate Lydia and Pete, you all acknowledging how bad this looks. I think it's important that Republicans, that conservatives call this out. My second challenge to you will be, what are you going to do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to take a deep breath here. And I'm about to let out the first bad word of my show, because keep in mind, this is a rated R superstar channel. This is not PG. My content is for kids, but not the cuss words I use when I hear shit like this. Ladies and gentlemen, it enrages me that CNN would have a debate about this, and we've never had a serious conversation about reparations for blacks. We are literally talking about one of the greatest atrocities in human history to happen to a group of people. Pretty much every other country that had slavery have given their folks some form of reparation. Just go to Jamaica, ask them. And we've never had this real conversation on CNN, but we get this bull job on fucking CNN. We literally are having a conversation of if we're going to give rioters from January 6th money, $1.7 billion. And your strongest talking point is that, well, we're not going to try to give it to all of them but some have had their lives ruined. Man, fuck you. Black people's legacy is ruined from day one. That's why we are at the bottom in income, but we built the fucking head start that you white dudes have. Are you kidding me? For real? You really about to try to have a cogent, educational thought, wannabe thought-provoking conversation that these deplorables, these bottom-of-the-barrel feeders should have some money. And most of these people that got pardoned have gone back to jail for crimes dealing with children. And you know what the word begins with, starts with an R. And we'll call it a grape. The type of cats that wouldn't bust a grape in a food fight, but they're so tough when they have an advantage. You know my saying, in order for white dudes to fight black dudes, it's got to be a 6 to 1.5 ratio. 6 white dudes, 1.5 black dudes. And we are really entertaining the idea of giving them money. This should be shot down because, folks, this is, again, the societal programming put in place by white racist men in power. For the longest time, anything that would help the people who don't have money, it was always our budget can't afford it. Who's going to pay for it? Where are we going to get the money from? But as Tupac said, you got money for wars but can't feed the poor. You got 1.7 billion to give to these buffoons, but you can't even cough up 1 billion to descendants of slaves. Man, stop. Knock it off, man. Like, for real. Get out of here with that. Democrats, if you can't message this the way I am messaging it to people, if you actually care about how folks who are in the center feel about this, Democrats, the problem is with you. Because at the end of the day, a whole lot of issues have been brought to media that should never have been brought to media based on the rules that was put in place by white racists from yesteryear. This kind of conversation we shouldn't be having because we don't have the money for it. Trump exploding the budget more than every president combined, we should never have had that conversation because we don't have the budget for it. But we all knew, especially black educated women, that it was a ruse. It was a lie from the beginning. It was all a lie. It was a lie so that you folks would just pray to your God to get what you wanted, and you let the white men take everything. See how they give you symbolism, not substance? And this is another situation right here. So post your comments, man. If we got money for this, if we can at least have the discussion on national TV, we need to be having the discussion on reparation for black folks. I mean, hell, let black folks not pay taxes no more. We'll take that. Give us all free education. We'll take that. But to really sit here and act like these people did not attack the Capitol, and now you want to give them money for their bad behavior, it is the very definition of stupidity, ignorance, the opposite of what people are teaching our kids. You don't get rewarded for bad behavior. Post your comments, let me know what you think. Man, just wow, every day. Next, folks, speaking of Democrats, and on this channel, this is not going to be a channel where I don't chastise the Democrats. So if that's what you're thinking happens here, you're sadly mistaken. Do I vote Democrat? Yes. Am I progressive? Yes. I'm also a critical thinker, which means when I see what's wrong in the Democratic Party, I call it out because I want it to be fixed. Because calling it out lets you know why we keep getting our asses handed to us by the dumbest man to ever walk on the planet and see the 7 seas and try to change the name of 2 parts of the damn seas, folks. This is why we keep losing. This issue right here is how Republicans and international people who want to meddle in our elections have been paying social media influencers in politics for years. And Democrats have always said, oh no, we can't do that, it's wrong. And look what that's gotten us. It's gotten us Trump twice. Voted in by people who usually have one tooth that's yellow and gold and not because it's real gold, and they love to hang from mountains in West Virginia. Democrats, because the word of conservatives was getting out there, not just on national TV, but in social media echo chambers. So here we have Isaac Hayes III talking about how Dems need to get off their high horse and start paying social media people like me a hefty fee to spread our message of truth and not lies. Here we go.
I remember sitting with Kamala and all my folks telling her, like, yo, like, we all speak to 1 billion people in a week. We need to help you. You need to help us help you. It wasn't really received. And now we see how it all played out.
Jason Lee is right. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. These campaigns raise millions and billions of dollars. And then that money goes to white-owned marketing firms and not black creators and not black-owned marketing firms. So when you see like rappers at campaign rallies, I promise you, ain't nobody black think of that idea. I promise you. Nobody black said, go get this person to perform and this person to perform. They didn't do that. And black media, black creators, black marketing firms get shut out of the opportunity to participate in helping candidates win. And so I'm just warning anybody else that wants to run for office, you're going to have to pay black creators, black marketing companies, black media to reach voters. It can't be this nickel and dime just because people are black. We're going to do it for the cause of the people. No, because you guys take a lot of that money and give it to white-owned marketing firms, and they tell you to do these asinine things like they think they know what black people want and how to talk to black people. Secondly, you have to get comfortable with letting black people speak on your behalf in their tone of voice to the people that will get people to come out and vote for you. You can't spoon feed messaging to someone that has to go in their neighborhood and explain to you why you being in office matters and why they should get out and vote. If you don't do that, you're going to lose every time. And it's been going on for years and years and years. I see all these campaigns raise all this money and they want black people to help, but they hire these white marketing firms, and that has to stop. You have to pay black creators, you have to pay black marketing firms, and you have to pay black media. If you don't, you're going to lose. Period.
Shout out to Isaac Hayes III. He has a social media platform too, ladies and gentlemen. I'll link it in the video description. He's absolutely right. And we tend to always get screwed because for whatever the reason, they don't think that our dollars reach when it comes to the political realm. But I'm here to tell you, what was the highest, most faithful and loyal group of voters to Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party this last voting session? 92% black educated women turned out for Kamala. And when you don't pay black creators such as me and others to spread the message, what does it look like? It looks like you don't appreciate us. Now you're starting to get into some of that mess Stephen A. Smith said. Now, granted, folks, I'm not going to go as far as saying you need to vote Republican because we see what that would have got us, and that would have never worked. But it does seem like you're dismissive of us because you feel like you already have us. Now, we don't want to feel like we're pushed in the corner because most of us are intelligent enough to know that no matter what happens, if the Democrats put a pumpkin up against the pumpkin that is Trump, we would vote for the pumpkin that can't talk, move, or do anything. However, that does not mean you shortchange us of our needs. And we need money. We need it. If the Republican Party is spending millions to influence people, we have great influence across social media. Why are you not spending money on us? And then the second thing he mentioned was very important. You can't be policing what we say. If we give part of your message that says we're voting for Kamala for X, Y, and Z, and that's why we're doing it, don't be telling us don't mention Israel, because that's where we went wrong, ladies and gentlemen. There was some campaign data that came out about what happened to this last voting cycle, why Kamala lost, and the DNC refuses to release it because too many Democrats was like, fuck Israel. We don't give a shit about them. Why should we care? Why are we sending money over there? They got free health care. They got free child care. And we're sending all this money over there for them to commit human atrocities. We don't want none of that. And so they're hiding that. And a lot of people that control these PACs are in support of Israel because of their damn religion. And Democrats don't want to pay because the Democratic machine, the people that support Democrats, we are not the same color in the box of white. We have shades. We're black, we're white, we're brown, we're orange, we're green, we're red, we're rainbow. We have our own thoughts. We all think critically. We all are intelligent for the most part. And we all don't see everything eye to eye. But what we do see eye to eye is Trump is bad, supporting Israel is wrong, and not paying our creators is hindering the party because of outreach. Believe it or not, there are a lot of Republicans that follow me because of my use, my knowledge, and my understanding of how to talk financial jargon and lay it home to how it hurts you and not sound like I'm a banker who's just trying to suck you out of your underwear and your panty drawers. I'm pretty good at voicing that concern. How the powers that be use capitalism to screw you. Hence, hate versus food on your plate. I do have a lot of Republicans that follow me for that. Now, do they like how I feel about other progressive issues? No, but they are able to understand what's going on with inflation, why Amazon moves into your community and gets upfront money, but the people who've been in the community, some of them Republican, been upholding the community, can't get a dime and they're about to go out of business, but we are allowing Amazon to move in for what? Why are we giving them more money? They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They should not get a dime from anybody anywhere they move. I don't care how many jobs they claim they can bring in. You give that money to the people already upholding a community, and they can expand and bring in their own jobs and keep the money at fucking home. Okay? So Democrats, listen. At some point in time, you're going to have to break the tit of AIPAC or whoever PAC, Tupac, I don't care what the PAC is that's paying you if you want to win and grab power back. And when you get power back, you must wield that power in a way like Trump did, but only for the good of all Americans. Post your comments, y'all. Let me know what you think about that. And we'll move on to another issue, ladies and gentlemen, that we've got to deal with here. And that is, we've had some planes crash this weekend. We did. Fighter jets crashing. Didn't need to crash. They shouldn't have been in the air in the first place. Now, did y'all see any of Trump and his team come out and say the reason these planes crashed was because of DEI? And if you're a MAGA watching this and you're saying to myself, gosh, Lamont, you wouldn't be saying that planes crashed because of DEI, would you? I am contending planes did crash because of DEI. But first, let's take a look at the story.
We have serious news right now. 2 Navy Growler jets have collided. You're watching it collide in real time right now at a flight show in Idaho. These jets collided in real time, midair. As you can see, the pilots were ejecting at an air show in Idaho. The jets then crashed and exploded on the ground. This event was the first air show that was happening at this base since 2018. It was in honor of America's 250th anniversary. The conditions of the pilots and those inside the jets at this time remains unknown. You can see them eject, but we don't know whether they are fully okay or not just yet. But look, as the jets literally collide with one another, stop midair momentarily, and then crash down after colliding with one another. It's a very serious situation. All 4 crew members have punched out of the aircraft. I'll have more updates for you soon as we get more information on this. So as always, spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about more to come.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that those pilots are all fine. And I can also confirm that it was DEI. And you might be saying, Lamont, what the hell is wrong with you? You're literally blaming a jet show, which we should, why the hell are we having jet shows anyway, considering this economy? To fuel those planes, have those pilots go out there and fly, you're talking about $3-4 million in the first place. Now that those planes are down, each plane itself is probably 1.5 million. So we're in the hole 7 million at a time. We don't need to be in the hole. So that's that. But yes, I can blame it on DEI. You know why? Because my president has blamed planes and helicopters going down on DEI. You think I'm lying, MAGA? Here you go.
Do you even yet know the names of the 67 people who were killed? And you are blaming Democrats and DEI policies and air traffic control and seemingly
the member of the U.S. military who was flying that Black Hawk helicopter. Don't you think you're getting ahead of the investigation right now?
No, I don't think so at all. I don't think with the names of the people, you mean the names of the people that are on the plane, you think that's going to make a difference?
Does it comfort their families?
They are a group of people that have lost their lives. If you want a list of the names, we can give you that. We'll be giving that very soon. We're in coordination with American Airlines. We're in coordination very strongly, obviously, with the military. But I think that's not a very smart question.
But are you
I'm surprised coming from you.
Are you blaming
Yeah, that was the interview where he blamed DEI, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? I'm blaming DEI for white guys. Didn't earn it. The leadership that is sitting over our military didn't earn it. DEI, folks. That's DEI. Another one of these tropes, white Republican America has tried to turn into a pejorative. DEI, which normally stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. What I'm turning the shit into is for white guys. Didn't earn it. And I guarantee you what happened here had something to do with some DEI white guy, didn't earn it, who didn't coordinate shit properly. We are living under the dumbest administration we've ever had in the history of this country, and you can expect more bull job like this happening. I can recall just in the last 6 months, we've had all kinds of issues, near hits and stuff like that with airplanes, and it wasn't because of good DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It was because a white guy, racist DEI, didn't earn it, nepotism DEI. So do I believe that this shit right here was a result of DEI? Probably, because the people who are in control right now did not earn these positions through experience, did not earn these positions through their stewardship and leadership of understanding how to run these individual parts of the damn government. And you have no further look than Pete Headsuck. Post your comments, let me know what you think. It is just ridiculous what we're seeing in this country, and we've got to fight as hard as we can to get this shit not even back, folks. We don't want to, as minorities and women, you don't want to go backwards. You want to progress. We don't want to go back. We want to stop the ball of Trump right now and start reversing going forward. And for that, we are going to need a mighty Democrat to get in this office, shake shit up, not care what centrists and far-right people have to say, restore law and order as we know it, and make that law and order reach the rich and powerful. Because, folks, I'm telling you right now, we're not getting the Epstein's files because it's being blocked by the rich and powerful. Their asses would be in jail, and they need to be in jail forever. That's another one of the fallacies put in place by the colonizers and the white, empowered, racist people. We can do what we want, and we set the law so that if we get caught, we get a slap on the wrist and we can pay a fine. But if you poor folks, middle-class folks get caught, you're not going to be able to afford the fine, and you're just going to have to do the time. Well, folks, I'm sick of that shit. It's time for Democrats to get power, and I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. If you're rich and you done wrong, you need to be sitting right in Rikers Island, getting your butthole towed the fuck up. Last story we're going to cover, ladies and gentlemen, is Hunter Biden, a man who Fox News tried to turn into their new locker up Hillary Clinton. All they talked about was Hunter Biden and the information he had and him taking bribes and all kinds of stuff that he was doing while his daddy was in office. Well, he's coming out unloading on Elon Musk and people of that ilk. Take a look at this.
You got some motherfucker who's made over, what, $251 billion being a United States citizen that got here and stayed here illegally before he got his citizenship, sitting here lecturing us on who we should allow into the United States of America and giving us a fucking Heil Hitler along the way. Are you fucking kidding me?
And talking about how gangs are like a threat that's going to come here from other places. I'm like, MS-13 started in a Koreatown in LA.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, the U.S. prison system invented gangs.
Yes.
Like, we are basically like the creators of worldwide gang warfare, like the styles, basically everything about it. And so it's just crazy, the idea that like we're going to build a wall to keep gang members out, yet 21 Savage is on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, exactly. Or, you know, or we sit here and watch Sons of Anarchy. It's just such bullshit. It's just such racism. It's just so easy pickings, and it just makes me so angry. Have you read? I'm going to pretend like you're not getting attacked by a bee right now.
Hey, it's all right.
Keep my train of thought.
Without them, we would all die.
Trying to root. By the way, that's true too. Birds aren't real, but bees are.
Folks, he's absolutely right. And he called BS on another one of these societal mighty whitey tropes that, first and foremost, all the people that truly hate America and are going to do something bad to America come from overseas. That's number one. Number two, we have a whole lot of people locked up in jail that have created these white MAGA cults, these white nationalist cults that from jail are able to get some kind of social influence over people's head to get them to do stupid stuff like leave North Carolina, ride to Washington, D.C., shoot up the place because they think Hillary Clinton is running a pizza parlor that has an underground trafficking ring. But the minute you find out that that trafficking ring is being ran by Jeffrey Epstein and potentially the president of the United States, all of a sudden you got 4 flat tires, your ass can't even leave your yard. Like, come on, man. Really? Stop this. Stop this, Matt. It is all BS, folks. And the quicker dumb Republican Bible lickers figure out that they put these things in place to divide us so that we can get our fair shake at life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness because they keep stealing it from us, the better off we would be, and we could unite and take the fight to the people who are keeping us oppressed. Yes, that's who's doing it. Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, these other people who come from other nations and come here because it's so easy to be a white guy, manipulate our system and make it, and then you want to keep the people fighting each other so that they can't come up like they did, and then you want to leave and go back to another nation and talk shit about this one. Like Peter Thiel is trying to set up, he's trying to do some kind of thing in Greenland after he done came and pilloried America and is trying to do this technocrat bull job Bible thing to get people to believe in it, and all the while trying to use the government's money to enrich himself. And folks, that's another issue that just pains me, that people are so dumb, they have allowed rich people to say using the government's money is socialism. And middle class and poor white folks believe it. But middle class and poor seem to forget that the biggest provocateurs of socialism are people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Amazon, and all these big businesses that socialize that same money they don't want you to use to capitalize on the gains and socialize the loss. That's my show for today, ladies and gentlemen. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Think about it and start voting in accordance with what I'm saying. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Please turn on those notifications, folks, because like I said, I do these pop-up lives whenever I'm done trading. I try to schedule them at noon, but usually I'm able to get them done before noon. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.